Hey, what's up? Welcome to the channel. I am just some guy. If you're new here, welcome, welcome. If you're not new here, well, welcome back. So I was just working on some stuff here on the computer. We're here in the work office, and I just watched. I had a video on in the background, and it was talking about what it means to be a YouTuber in 2025, and it got me kind of thinking that it's kind of interesting what a YouTuber is to different people, right? Now, early on, if you were a YouTuber, if you did YouTube, even when I started doing YouTube, it was a hobby. Nobody got into YouTube, you know, 10 years ago. Not that I've been in this for 10 years. I think I've been doing this for what, 8 years now, I think, give or take. But nobody really went into early YouTube going, I am going to make this a business. I am going to make money off of YouTube. I'm going to be able to live. I'm going to be able to pay my bills. I'm going to have a mansion off of YouTube. Now, one of the things with my algorithm, especially on my, YouTube, on my channel profile, I look at a lot of things like, hey, how to optimize my thumbnails, how to, optimize my SEO, stuff like that. So I get a lot of suggestions on making YouTube into a business. Now, in the past, on my gaming channel, I never wanted it to be a business. I always talked about how realistically the money that I was making off of YouTube and the amount of effort and time and everything that I put into it at the time, I could have just gotten a job at McDonald's, worked way less, and then made more money doing that. But I enjoyed what I did. Now, I think that, had I put all that effort into a different niche, like maybe finance or even what I'm doing now, I would have made a lot more money for the time and effort that I put into that channel. Now, one of the interesting things is that a lot of the videos that I'm seeing are catering towards that niche of the person who's just getting into YouTube in 2025. And the big thing that a lot of them are kind of hammering home is that if you're starting a YouTube channel in 2025 and you're specifically looking for these videos, you're approaching this as a business and not necessarily as a hobby. And I think that that's such an interesting, way to think about things, because if you're coming into a YouTube channel thinking about it as a business, right, you put together a business plan. You go, I need to do X, Y, and Z. Now, for me, I know what I could do in order to get clicks and in order to get views. Now, I could rage bait, I could clickbait, I could go on to hot trending topics. Politics is easy money, realistically, but the way I run my channel is I don't necessarily want to do that. I just want to optimize and do the best with what I'm working with, whether or not it's getting me millions of dollars. I don't really care. I've got a day job. This is just my accountability vlog and my way to reach out and talk to people, because I don't go outside very often. But I think that it was interesting watching the video about how to more or less reverse engineer a business and then couple a YouTube channel onto it for that business instead of like the other way around, right? Because a lot of the YouTubers, myself included, as you get more and more subscribers, more and more traffic, you kind of look at it and you go, oh, hey, this is actually taking off. Maybe I should do something with this. And then you're kind of behind the eight ball because you're like, well, no, now I'm making something out of myself. Now I have to do all of these steps that the other person who's coming into content creation as a business has already established. They've got a formula, they've got scripting, they've got, whatever their thumbnail type of thing is. Now, when I did my gaming channel, I went through multiple phases of thumbnails till I found like a good template that worked for me. Same with this channel, as I'm going through and I'm testing different thumbnails and stuff like that to see, what works, what gets people's click-through rate, stuff like that. What flashy things do I need to put on there and stuff like that in order to, because the thumbnail is the front door to your house, right? Like those of you homies who are here all the time, like it don't really matter too much what I put on the thumbnail, you're going to click on it probably anyways. But for the person who's not subscribed, doesn't know what they're getting themselves into, you want to make sure that that front door looks appealing so that they come in and they get through the front door, right? Now, the other thing too is that you're looking at stuff and you got to have a game plan on how much money are you going to put into this? Are you going to get an editor? Are you going to get stuff like that? Brother, when I started, I didn't even know anybody who even had an editor. Now, editors are everywhere, and you can get a cheap editor, you can get an expensive editor. Editors are pretty much like, as soon as you get over a certain threshold of making money on YouTube, you just hire an editor and then you crank out reaction content and then you make money. But it was just kind of interesting to me, thinking about it, because there's all the articles and stuff like that of, kids being like, oh, well, what do you want to be when you grow up? It's not a scientist. It's not a rocket, space astronaut. Couldn't remember what an astronaut was. Space rocket man. Kids don't want to be space rocket mans no more. They just want to be a YouTuber. They want to be an influencer, which is disappointing. But the other interesting thing is those kids, these people in general, don't know the amount of effort that it takes to make a successful YouTube channel. Let's be real. They see people, they don't know the editing. I guess if you're rich and you just pay for editing like right out the gate. But you got to be entertaining. You got to have a good, you got to be in some sort of niche that's not oversaturated, because, like, let's be real. If I went and made Minecraft content, well, one, I'm not in the age demographic, that's for sure. But two, Minecraft is super saturated, and it is what it is, right? So you gotta be able to stand out from the crowd. And I think that coming at YouTube in different ways allows you for different, thought patterns in that, right? Because if you're coming at it from the hobbyist point of view, right? For me, I try to make as good of content as possible just because I want to make good content, right? Like I said, if I were looking for money, me sitting in the basement talking to my dogs, lifting weights isn't the way to go, right? I'd be, getting jacked and then selling some sort of fitness plan. I'd have high action, like, bruh, yeah, let's go, bro. Oh, fuck yeah, dude. We're getting fucking swole. Stuff like that. High energy, things like that. It wouldn't be me just sitting there being like, guys, today, guess what? My feet hurt. That's right. My feet hurt and my dog peed on the floor. That wouldn't be the best content that I would be making in order to, make a business, make a brand around that type of thing, right? And so if you come in and you go, this is my brand, this is my character, this is the format of my video, this is how I did my research, I know what the thumbnails need to be, I know how to rage bait, I know how to clickbait, I know how to get eyes onto this, or at least I have a plan on how to do this. I just think it's kind of interesting, and it's really interesting to see how the YouTube landscape has changed over the years, because it did really just kind of hit me that I'm like, man, that's kind of wild, that you're coming in with a whiteboard to go, I need to do X, Y, and Z. I'm making a business and bolting a YouTube channel to it, instead of making a YouTube channel and then bolting a business onto it after the fact. And it's an interesting approach. And honestly, it might be one of the ways that I go about some of my other channels that I want to make, because there's there's a couple of things that I've thought about. One thing is that people have always told me, I get a lot of comments where people are like, hey, you have a very calming, relaxing voice. And I like to listen to books on tape, audio books. I like to listen to people tell, spooky stories and stuff like that. And I've thought about just doing a faceless channel, and just reading stories. Now, I think that it is going to be hard for me because I use and but that's also when I'm talking to you. So that is what it is, right? But I think that it'll probably be rough because I'll probably stammer through some words, but at the very beginning, it will be like that. But I do think that that will be interesting because, well, one, I can get my reading out of the way, and two, it's another creative outlet because I do like stories. And one of the things that I always wanted to actually do was I wanted to be a radio DJ because I feel like I had a good voice for it. I can very much turn on that sort of voice. It's also one of the reasons why I've always been really good with customer support is because I can come on and I can put my customer support voice on. So I do think that I'm going to attempt to do that at some point. And so when watching that video, I was like, that's an interesting approach to a potential new channel that I want to do. Now, this also ties back into the ADHD and the hobbies video where I have so many other things that I want to do, but now I'm just going to stack a new thing on there, next to the, the lo-fi channel that I made that I'm working on, which is actually what I'm working on right now. Alongside of this channel, alongside of a whole bunch of other things. But hey, it is what it is, right? And we'll see if that gets started. I gotta come up with a good name. That's actually something that's interesting with ChatGPT. Is like you can ask ChatGPT. I'm like, hey, what's a good name for a new YouTube channel that covers this, this, and this, that really hammers that home? And it'll give you a whole list of them. And I'm like, that's actually not too bad. But that aside, I just wanted to kind of not rant, but like talk about how interesting it is that there are those, there's people that come at this. There's multiple different ways to go about YouTube now, and stuff like that. And I just thought that was kind of interesting. Hopefully you thought that was interesting too. Otherwise, just tell me that it sucks and to stop making videos like this in the comment section. And I'll probably just ignore that comment because I just, it is what it is. I'm just going to keep on making whatever it is I want to make. But anyways, that's it for me. I'm going to get back to working on this music and stuff like that. And as always, if you like this, like, favorite, subscribe, comment down below. If you dislike it, I don't care. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Take it easy, homies. Peace out.